Welcome back to Cityline. With me, I have a fabulous individual, and I'm talking musically about the General Director of Tacoma Opera, Mr. Noel Koran. Happy New Year, my dear.
Well, Happy New Year to you too, Amanda. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Well, it's great to see you, and it's also great to see that you still have your Christmas tree up, and it's quite beautiful, I might add.
Oh, yes. I'm a strong believer in Epiphany.
That's right. 12 days of Christmas. And I think for a lot of us, we had longer days of Christmas because we just needed the festivities.
Absolutely.
So speaking of festivities, tell me, how are you and Tacoma Opera doing right now at this moment?
Well, actually, right now, we're doing pretty darn well, all things considered, you know. It's been a rough year, as it has been for all of the arts groups, live performing arts, and everybody in general. But, you know, with Christmas, there is a sense of hope and coming out of everything and renewal. And so that's what I have been taking to heart lately. And that's really, I think, pointing in the right direction. And of course, with the possibility of a vaccine coming on, oh my God, that has changed our moods in every way. Yeah. So no, we're doing very well. We're still totally online, virtual, doing everything that way, but we have a really wonderful intermezzo recital series where we've been keeping Tacoma Opera singers engaged and letting them show off their art other than just opera. So it's been a great experience. And so we're very pleased with how that's worked. So we're doing a lot of good things, just all online.
All online. So looking back at 2020, in addition to going online, which I think is a very common theme for many of us, how did the pandemic affect Tacoma Opera?
Well, the last live show we did was Tosca, and it was a remarkable production. It was just an absolutely fabulous production in the Pantages, full orchestra, big cast with chorus. It was just a marvelous way to start off 2020. But then again, right after that was in February. So right after that, things kind of went south really quickly. And we had planned to do a spring opera, and it was going to go in April. But obviously that got canceled as soon as the COVID thing came up. And we had to let, oh my God, you know, about 100 people, I had to cut about 100 people loose for that production. It was a horrible, horrible experience, not just for me, which it really was. It broke my heart, but it was for everybody, absolutely everybody. And then, you know, at first, we in May, we were thinking that, well, you know, it'll be all over by the end of summer, and we'll be back live and doing our stuff again, and we'll try to do some things in August and outdoors and all that kind of stuff. And everything got shot down, Amanda. Everything got shot down, and we were constantly having to reinvent the wheel. And we're not the only ones. This was every single arts organization at this time. So finally, September rolls around, and we figured we were going to be in this kind of situation for the long haul. So we started coming up with these intermezzo recitals. And it's a way, like I said, it's a way to keep local singers engaged and give our patrons something over this really nasty period. And then on top of that, we started a series called Tacoma Opera Reflections, in which we filmed from my living room. And we show previous scenes from previous productions that we've done in the past. And, you know, that's been a wonderful thing, too. So I'm just going on and on and on, so you can interrupt me when soon as.
Yes, I mean, I love what you're saying because it is a reflection of how you had to, and I hate to use that word, but here it comes again, pivot And so now we have the Intermezzo Recital Series, and then we have Tacoma Opera Reflection Series. So if somebody is new to Tacoma Opera and hasn't had the luxury of seeing Tacoma Opera in the Pantages with all of its glory, what will they get from those Intermezzo Recital Series? What will it tell them?
Well, basically, the focus is on the artists, and the singers and the pianists that participate in this program. And the thing that I love about it is that, as an opera organization, a presenting organization for opera, people only get to see opera when we put our stuff on. Okay, and this gives people an opportunity to see another side of the wonderfully talented artists that we engage. So we've done things like we engaged an African-American soprano to sing African-American spirituals for one of the intermezzo recitals, and another young Tacoma Opera artist did a Halloween evening, where there were all sorts of wonderful, quirky, popular songs about magic, black magic, witches, and all sorts of sordid, ghostly kind of things. And it was so much fun. And that aired right on Halloween evening. And then we've also had one artist do American folk songs, and rearranged by Aaron Copland, and it was truly moving. So this is an opportunity for our patrons and people in general to see another side of the artists that we hire and that we promote with Tacoma Opera.
It's almost as if you have extracted the silver linings out of that pandemic, in the sense of these are things that you could not see if we were business as usual. But
Correct.
Now you get to see these artists in all of their glory, in addition to, cross your fingers, when we get back to regular productions. So speaking of that, not that you have a virus crystal ball, and if you do, you better hand it over. When do you hope to get back to live performances in city theaters?
Well, it really has been an upsetting year that way. There's no way, like you say, no one's got a crystal ball. Not even me. Oh, well, what can I say? But nonetheless, we're looking ahead, and we are doing some tentative planning and hoping that there's some way in late October, early November, that we can do some sort of a hybrid production that might involve a few live audience members, which, God, we would dearly love to be able to do again. Oh, that we miss it so badly. But then we would also video it as well. And so we're in the beginnings of a plan to come up with something that we're going to be doing. And it will involve, obviously, live singers, maybe some movement experts in masks that tell the story, and then also a small orchestra, or maybe, I don't know, probably in the fall. It's too soon to add an orchestra, but it's going to feel like a live performance again. And people, if they're still concerned about coming into an audience space with COVID still kind of lingering, people will still be able to see it online. But it'll be an opera, and it'll be a performance. And that's our ultimate goal, is to get back going that way. And then hopefully, by the time 2022 rolls around, this will be gone. It will be history. And that is my real hope. And then we'll be able to get back into one of the city theaters to do, that which we know and love, which is present live opera, fully staged with orchestra. You know,
No,
let's keep our fingers crossed.
crossing all fingers, toes, and eyes.
All digits.
All digits. Noel, do you think that, and I certainly won't hold you to this, but once we are able to be back in person, fifth row center, watching all the glory on stage, do you think that you'll keep some of those online added bonuses that we can maybe click on at 2 in the morning and go, needed a little fix?
Sure. Well, actually, in that way, the intermezzo recitals have been so encouraging and so uplifting for me that is something that I foresee we will keep going continually, even when we're back on the live stage, doing live opera. It has been so important and so encouraging and so optimistic for us, and it's been beautiful for me to see these artists, these fine artists, in a different light. So I want to keep it going. And, you know, I don't know about the opera reflections because, you know, I want to make sure that we focus on new opera, new works. But, you know, we'll probably slow down a little bit on some of the intermezzo recitals and the reflections. But I'm hoping that we'll be able to keep both of those going in the future. Like I say, right now we're trying to do 2 a month of each, and we probably won't be able to keep up that kind of pace. But, you know, I think it's important for our patrons and our audiences and the general public to see a different side of the artists that we work with.
I agree 100%. You know, the moments I've had Tacoma Opera artists on the comfy couch, which seemed like years ago, the more chance I had to sit with them and bond with them, the more I wanted to see them on stage. I wanted to see a different side of them. The more I fell in love with them as people and really wanted to get to know them as artists. And that's what your recital series has done. We get to see things that only perhaps you as the executive director get to see when someone's auditioning or they send a tape in. We don't get to see that breadth of what they do and how well they do it that gets them to that part on the stage. So I think it's a real 360 that you've given us. I want to say thank you so much for your time today, for all the work that you put into 2020. And I can't wait to see all that evolves for 2021. And a huge thank you to you and your team, your board, and all those artists that make opera look so easy.
Well, thank you so much for your support. Thanks to everyone for your support. It's been quite an adventurous year, and we'll come out of all of this eventually. But it's been a very hopeful year too. So I'm very pleased. Thank you so much.
Well, you're more than welcome, my dear. Well, that wraps up another great segment of Cityline. You know, it's always a pleasure and a privilege to be in your home. We've given you some great things to think about in this past hour. So please look at those things virtually and continue to wear your mask, continue to socially distant, and also wash your hands. But in addition to all of that, please continue to reach out to those people around you. Let them know that you are here and that you love them and you care about them. And when you come back, as always, we'll be waiting for you right here at Cityline. Take care.